There are moments in life that feel impossible to question, moments that feel carved into our memory with such clarity that no amount of evidence could convince us they happened differently. A book we read as children, a phrase we heard 1,000 times, a celebrity we believed died decades earlier. These memories feel permanent, unchanging, as if they were frozen inside the mind. But what happens when millions of people around the world share the same memory, and every available fact says that memory never existed? This is the strange and unsettling phenomenon known as the Mandela Effect, a puzzle that sits at the intersection of psychology, culture, and the boundaries of reality itself. It forces us to confront something deeply uncomfortable about the human experience. That memory, the very foundation of who we are, might not be as reliable as we want to believe. The term originated in 2009 when researcher Fiona Broome discovered that a surprisingly large number of people remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. These memories weren't vague impressions. They were detailed, emotional, and vivid. People remembered watching his funeral on television. They remembered the global response. They remembered discussing it with family members. Yet Mandela didn't die until 2013. The contradiction between personal certainty and factual history created a sense of cognitive shock. As Fiona explored this further, she found that the phenomenon was widespread. Thousands of people shared the same false memories with astonishing precision. Curious, she created a website to document these reports. What followed was an explosion of stories from around the world. Stories about books, movies, brands, geography, and historical events that didn't match recorded reality. One of the most iconic examples involves a children's book series adored by millions, the Berenstain Bears. Countless people remember the name spelled Berenstein with an EIN ending. They can picture it in their mind. They remember seeing it on book covers. They remember teachers pronouncing it that way. Yet every physical copy, every official record, every historical printing shows the name spelled Berenstain with AIN. The disbelief surrounding this example alone has fueled years of debate. Another famous case involves one of the most quoted movie lines in cinematic history. Nearly everyone remembers Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father." The line has been referenced in jokes, impressions, commercials, and pop culture so consistently that it feels undeniable. But the actual line in The Empire Strikes Back is, "No, I am your father." People are stunned when they rewatch the scene. The version they remember so clearly simply does not exist. These are not isolated incidents. People remember the Monopoly man wearing a monocle. He never did. They remember Pikachu having a black tip on his tail. He never has. They remember the Queen in Snow, White saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," but she actually says, "Magic mirror on the wall." They remember New Zealand being located to the northeast of Australia, but on every real map it is southeast. They remember movie titles, brand logos, and even anatomy differently than what exists today. The consistency of these false memories is what makes the Mandela Effect so fascinating. These aren't random mistakes. They are shared illusions, recurring across cultures and continents. Why do so many people remember the exact same wrong details? Why do these memories feel so vivid, so certain, so emotionally anchored? To understand this, we must examine how memory works. Memory is not a recording device. It does not store the past perfectly. Instead, the brain stores fragments, sensory impressions, emotional responses, general shapes and meanings. When we recall a memory, we reconstruct it. And every reconstruction is an opportunity for distortion. The brain fills in missing details automatically, often without our awareness. Over time, these reconstructed memories become the version we believe is real. Psychologists call this false memory formation. Experiments have shown that people can be led to remember events that never happened simply through suggestion. If enough people repeat an incorrect detail, others begin to adopt it unconsciously. Cultural reinforcement amplifies this effect. If generations misquote a movie line, the incorrect version becomes the real one in the minds of millions. But even with scientific explanations, something still feels strange. Why do these distortions happen so consistently? Why do millions of unrelated people share the same incorrect memories? This question has opened the door to more mysterious theories. One such theory suggests that the Mandela Effect may be evidence of parallel universes, multiple versions of reality branching out from each decision, each moment, each possibility. According to this idea, people may occasionally retain memories from a different timeline. Perhaps in one version of reality, Mandela did die in prison. Perhaps in another, the Berenstain spelling was correct. Perhaps in yet another, a movie line was spoken differently. If consciousness can shift or drift between these timelines, even subtly, it could explain why some people remember one version while the physical world reflects another. Another theory posits that reality itself may undergo subtle shifts, tiny changes that alter details without affecting the overall structure of the world. Most people unconsciously adapt to the new reality, but some retain memories from before the shift. These individuals experience Mandela effects as leftover fragments from a previous version of the timeline. There is also the popular idea that we may be living in a simulation where Mandela effects could represent updates, corrections, or rendering errors. If the simulation adjusts certain details, human memory might retain older versions, creating the illusion of a glitch. In this framework, false memories are not mistakes. They are artifacts of changes made behind the scenes. A more metaphysical theory involves quantum consciousness, the idea that memory and awareness are not confined to the brain, but connected to a deeper layer of reality. If consciousness interacts with multiple possible outcomes, some memories might originate from alternate pathways or potential histories that never actualized in this timeline. Whether or not these theories are true, their popularity reveals something profound. The Mandela Effect challenges our understanding of truth. It forces us to confront the fragility of human memory. It reminds us that what we perceive as reality may not be as stable or as absolute as we assume. Ultimately, the Mandela Effect is not just about incorrect memories. It is about the tension between belief and evidence, between perception and fact, between the world we remember and the world as it exists. It reveals how easily certainty can crumble and how deeply our sense of reality depends on memories that may not be accurate. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the Mandela Effect is this: reality is not just what we see. It is what we believe. It is what we remember. And sometimes those memories, real or not, shape our world far more than objective truth ever could. Thank you for watching Phantom Files, where facts fade and mysteries begin.